went into this really not knowing anything about running a business, of course, but just, taking all of my mentor calls with Jeff and then listening to you guys and all of the things that you guys have provided. I just really try to take it to heart and execute it and try it. And most of the time it works. So I think that's something that's really valuable too with Lasso, is like, it's not just the paid marketing, but you are getting guidance and structure, and feedback.
You're an inspiration to our entire organization.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. We're going to be talking the done-for-you marketing and sales strategies proven to work with boutique fitness gyms to increase quality lead flow and grow your revenue. Don't try to be a professional marketer and waste tons of money. Let the experts at Lasso do it for you. And now, here are your hosts, Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks.
All right, guys, here we go. Another episode of Gym Marketing Made Simple. Today, Blake and I have a very special guest. I don't want to say long enough client, but she's crushing it. Today, we have Mikilah Spear, all the way from California. I'm going to say her gym name because I think the concept that she has is amazing. I can see it all over the U.S., the world. She wants to take it that big. But first of all, thanks for hanging out with us today. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Definitely. So, for the people that don't know you, let's give them a little info about you. How long have you been a gym owner? Where's your gym? What's the name of your gym? And what's special about your gym?
Yeah. So, I'm actually essentially kind of a new gym owner. So I've only owned my brick and mortar for about 2.5 years. But I've been training women for almost a decade, women specifically. So I am a mom of 3. I'm a former teacher. And when I got pregnant with my first child, I was really heavy into CrossFit. I was doing a lot of competitions, pre-pregnancy, and just, deep in that CrossFit competitive world. And then I got pregnant with my first child, and I was like, man, like, my doctor doesn't really even know how to tell me what I can and can't do. He was like, yeah, just keep doing everything that you've been doing. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't feel like you really are grasping like what I do on a daily basis. And then there was other people that were like, okay, just don't do anything. Like, definitely don't do CrossFit when you're pregnant, right? And so there was this whole spectrum of like what you should and shouldn't do. And no one really could tell me. It was really hard to find that information. So I started videoing myself, and I would show my doctor like the things that I was doing while I was pregnant. And he was like, oh yeah, like, don't do that. And I'm like, but you told me to do everything that I've been doing. And so I realized like there's a huge gap in this industry, like from the fitness world all the way to the medical world. And I just started really doing my own research and kind of diving into like my own advocacy of being, in the fitness world and pregnant, and how those two things collide, and how they can complement each other. And so then I found the BirthFit community after my pregnancy, which was amazing. So I was coaching at a CrossFit gym at the time, and I was like, hey, like, let's develop this class because there's like 8 pregnant ladies, and let's just make our own class. And so we started training together. I didn't really know what I was doing. I just knew that I needed a community of motherhood. I needed a community of women. And we were there just to support each other. And then I got pregnant 2 more times, like real fast. So I have 3 kids in 3 years. So I was like deep in this like world of fitness and pregnancy and postpartum, for a while. And throughout that time, I got certified to be a BirthFit coach and leader. I took my women's concept from one CrossFit gym to another CrossFit gym where I just felt like it would be a better fit. And then I just continued to run that class like throughout my pregnancy. I called it Mommy Fit. And and then COVID hit, and I had 3 very little kids. And so then I just started training women out of my garage because it was just more convenient for me. Obviously, gyms were shut down. And I just continued to have more and more women ask me like, hey, are you still training women? Are you still doing that pregnancy postpartum thing? And so I actually went back to BirthFit. They were only training, doing in-person seminars in Texas. So I flew out there right after COVID and just dove into it, and then just started kind of building my clientele out of my garage. And it just grew and grew and grew to the point where I was housing classes of like 8 women in my 3-car garage. And we were like, okay, so this is obviously a thing, right? Like we
Yeah.
need to be able to support women in these seasons of life. And so that's when we found our first space. I had a client who was a real estate agent, and she's like, hey, I found a space. And so the first space was like 1,700 square feet. And we just dove into it. I just kind of learned along the way. And then, let's see, about a year into it, we were busting at the seams of our little space, and then the space next door to us became open. And so we literally knocked down the wall and we doubled our space. So now we're about 3,500 square feet. And we are FemFit Reading, and we train women in all seasons of life. So we've grown far beyond just prenatal and postpartum. That was obviously the foundation of the concept, the idea of the gym. But now we do a lot of stuff for women in perimenopause, menopause. We do a lot of cyclical health training. So we teach women how to train in the different phases of their menstrual cycle. Yes, that really is a thing. And we also do different programs for like local teens in the area. So we train like volleyball teams, basketball teams. So the full range of ages, all the way from teenagers to women in their 70s and 80s and everywhere in between, is what we do at FemFit Reading.
That's yeah. So I'm excited to dive into this because you gave a lot. Because I remember when we first talked to you, when you reached out, we talked. You know, like you were a little hesitant. I knew from the beginning because a little known fact. You know, I've always said that man, I would open up a women's gym, but my wife would run it. Just like I just think I think that's a super cool concept. I think it can work, obviously, as you're showing. So, but first thing first, why'd you come to us, right? Like, what made you reach out to us?
Yeah. So a big reason why I reached out to you guys is because I live in a town of about 100,000 people, and I feel very well connected here. But I kind of came to a plateau of revenue, and I was like, man, I know that this thing can be more than what it is. And I'm just a very like growth mindset person. I'm very goal driven. I've always had goals for FemFit that go beyond the 4 walls of where we are. And I'm like, this thing, we got to keep the train moving, right? And I actually had a couple of like 3 cleaning services come in and quote the gym. This was like in, 6 months ago, October, or
Yeah,
7 months ago.
yeah,
And so they come in and these ladies, they look around and they're like, wow, this place is really awesome. And I'm like, yeah, you've never heard of it? And she's like, no, I go to Orange Theory. And I'm like, oh,
oh, stab in the heart. Ah,
yeah, yeah. And so then the next one came in. She'd never heard of us. The next one came in. She had never heard of us. And so that really stuck out to me. I was like, okay, there's a lot. I think a lot of people know about us, and we can have all these followers on Instagram and all this stuff, but there are so many people that are right down the street from us that have no idea that we exist. And one of the things that I love to do too is like I go to Costco and I look around at Costco and I'm like, I don't know any of these women,
yeah,
and they all could be potential clients, right?
yeah,
And so that was where I was like, okay, we have to do something to go beyond, my circle of who I know and who I'm connected with, which is small. You
uh-huh.
think 1,000 people, but guess what? There's 100,000 more that you can connect with in your immediate area. So that's kind of what got me thinking, all right, we've got to step up our game so that people know about us. We want to help women. We want to reach more people. But they just need to know about us.
And I think that's
Yeah.
a huge thing you just said, right? Like, people think that, like, oh, everybody knows about you because you've been around either for a while or you're well connected, until you actually start doing paid marketing and you're like, wow, nobody really knew it because my circle is so much smaller. Because the biggest misconception by all these people out there is like, oh, you can just grow. Well, the only people you're going to grow from is like you said, the people you know or the people that follow you.
Hmm.
Nobody else is really going to know about you until you do paid marketing because you
Yeah.
can't reach them. And, there's such this thing of like, oh, grassroots and do all these events. That takes a lot of time. And you're still only getting to know 500 people in an apartment complex, or actually, let's be honest, the 30 people that walk through all the way downstairs to meet with you or take the class. So you probably spent $100 on coffee and food for them. And then you spent your time, which is probably, you should value at least $100 an hour. There's $200 for 20 people, right? And they probably just wanted a free class. If you convert one of
Free
those,
stuff.
great. Yeah. But like, the biggest misconception, and I think the thing you are, looking back to what you said, you proved the concept in your garage before you ever made it big, which is great, right? Like, hey, I want to make sure this is something, and maybe it was intentional, maybe it wasn't. Hey, I got to make sure this is actually a need of people rather than just like, I'm just going to throw this out there and get a 5,000 square foot thing and not prove the concept, right? So on
Hmm.
a small scale, and then you were like, wow, this really is working. There's more people that need this. And a next step, which actually it's funny because like I had like a 1,200 square foot building first, then 3,000, then 5,000.
Hmm.
So like really that's like a formula for success, right? Start super small. Oh, we're busting at the seams, go to the next one and then go there,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's great. And so question for you is like, what were because I think a lot of people listen to this and be like, hey, I've always been interested in paid marketing. What were your perceived notions and like ideas of what it was going to be like? What was it actually like? And to be clear, like we tell people, I told you like not every lead is going to be worth your time. There's going to be
Hmm.
knuckleheads and there's going to be people that are crazy, right? And like you get a lot of leads. Like I remember
Yeah.
the first month, it was like 120 plus, right? So
Yeah.
what advice, what mindset do you think people need to have? And like, what is it really like coming from somebody that
Yeah.
like has signed up, just to be clear, guys, she's signed up over 70 people in the last 3 months, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that, my whole thought process going into this is like, if I can just get people in the door for a free class, they'll sign up and we'll just grow. It's going to be great. All I need is for people to know about us. Well, that was my bad, right? Um, and so we started getting on these leads and it was bananas. And what I got from Lasso was not only the leads, but the mentorship too of like, hey, you need to change your pricing structure. You need to change the way that you onboard people. Here's what you're doing wrong. Stop standing up and giving tours. Like all of those little things really added up for me. And I will never go back to doing free classes, giving out free things. One of the things I think that people should be prepared for, and that I've heard you guys talk about before, is that you might not like necessarily the ads that get put out. They might not feel like they're a reflection of you, but that's not their job. Their job is to get people in the door, and then you sell the reflection of you, and you show them what your gym and your culture is all about.
we need to get
And so
Mikilah on all our sales calls. She's like crushing it right now.
Mikilah, I have a question
um,
for you, right quick. I have a question for you.
yeah,
Has anyone, out of all the leads and the 75 people you gained over 3 months, has anyone ever come into your gym and said, "Hey, I want to meet that girl that was on the ad that made me click on it"?
not once.
All right, just making sure.
Not one time. But I will say this, that I love when I hear that people are like, I've been seeing your ads and I've been looking at it. And it's like what you guys say, it takes 8 to 10 times or something like that for someone to see something over and
Yep.
over again. So they can't just see your one Instagram post. Like they have to see your ad in their face over and over and over again before they're like, okay, I need that. I do need that. And then they take
Yeah.
action on it. But yeah, I would say that definitely some of the ads felt like, oh my gosh, that is not how I would word things. But the ads work. They get people in the door, and the way that we onboard people now is just has been instrumental, and it's changed the way that I do and I run my business. And I actually love sitting down with people and getting to know them before they come in the gym. I feel like we help people and we serve people better in that way. And the cool thing about the ads is that they're targeted, right? Like they're targeted to the people who you want in your gym. They're not just like your random followers that are looking for free stuff. And we have weeded out so much of that, hey, are you still doing that free class? It's like, no, we're not. I'm not wasting my time with you or with anyone with that. Time is money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and the way that I frame that to our members or to the people that are asking now is super well received and well respected. And I just say, hey, we used to do free classes, but we don't anymore because our gym is in high demand, and we want to give everything we have in a class to each one of our members. And when someone's here for a free class and we're spending time with them, but they're not really committed to being part of our culture and be part of our gym, that's taking away from the paying member. And so that's always like really well received.
Yeah. You know, like I remember, this is one thing. Like I'm gonna give, Mikilah her
There was
her
so many
flowers.
nuggets in that, by the way.
Yeah, like
That
well,
was
first of all,
awesome.
I want to give Mikilah her flowers right now because she's one of those clients that came on and she's pretty much trusted us from the initial sales call. Because I remember telling her, hey, listen, I don't like that free class thing, right? And you have to be careful with that because some people that's their pride and joy. They get if I don't give them a free class, they'll never join. Yes, they
Yeah.
will. But I could tell that Mikilah was open, like she was trying to. I was like, hey, like let's get rid of that. And then obviously we've helped them. We've done some things, and for me to hear that it's just going so well as we expected, right? Like that makes me very happy because she's listening, she's applying it, and then she's executing, right? Now, again, I want to be crystal clear, guys. If you join us, we cannot guarantee that you're going to join, that you're going to get 75 people in 3 months. I wish we could, but we cannot do that. So you're going to be clear. But Micaiah, from the beginning, she's been listening. And again, when we recommend stuff, we don't make anyone do anything, right? Like we make recommendations, and then if you do it, great. If you don't, that's on you as well, right? Like we're not going to strong arm you like this is the way you have to do it. But I think that, you know, I love to hear you say, Mikilah, that how people are still asking for the free class because I told you, well, people are still gonna ask for a while and then they just know. But like when you explain to them why, most people don't have an issue, right? Like most people, they're just like, oh, okay, I get it. And they were just doing the free class because you're offering it to them. So if you're gonna give them something free, they're going to take it, right?
And
Um,
it's not the people that you want in your gym 75% of the time.
yeah, I agree. Now I know that Blake's about to explode because he has some questions, so I'll let him ask a question because he loved that little last piece that you did.
What was the last piece again? About the free class or the
Can I add one
the
thing?
unicorn? Yeah, go for it.
Yes, yeah,
So I think what also has been really valuable is obviously, yes, I'm a coachable person, and I love all the feedback that I've gotten from you guys, but it's that much more valuable to me. Like you guys are not just a marketing company, that you offer the guidance and the mentorship and the tools because, I am a woman in a man's industry. Like, let's
yeah,
keep it real.
yeah,
And my husband has a full-time job, and I have 3 kids under 8. So I'm trying to run a business, in that hat, in many hats. And went into this really not knowing anything about running a business, of course. But just, taking all of my mentor calls with Jeff and then listening to you guys and
yeah,
all of the things that you guys have provided. I just really try to take it to heart and execute it and try it. And most of the time it
yeah,
works. So I think
yeah,
that's something that's really valuable too with Lasso, is like, it's not just the paid marketing, but you are getting guidance and structure. and feedback.
Yeah. And so what she's alluding to, guys, is that we do every 2 weeks, we get on a call and we go over that marketing funnel. And then obviously any other questions that's going on in the gym. And to her point, right? Like if you're a new gym owner or you've been a gym owner for a while, the hardest thing is wasting money or losing money on mistakes, right? That like you just didn't know. And so to have successful gym owners that have been in the industry for a while, that have been successful, they can bypass all those little mistakes to say, hey, I've done that. It's already cost me. I learned from what I did, and let's get you past that, right? And one thing you said, and I love it because I didn't know this because you never told me this, but oh well. That like, even though you don't like it as a gym owner, you think you're this like a unicorn, like it's got to be on exactly what I want saying. But here's the truth, and this is just the truth. It doesn't matter what you like. It just doesn't. It matters what the people like. So if people are opting in and showing interest and it's resonating, now let me be clear. Now, if it's the opposite of type of people you want, then yes, you need to change it, right? But if it's bringing people in and you're like, 75 people signed up in 3 months and they're staying and they're great people and they fit into my community, that's all that matters, because it's really different when what you write on your Instagram is going to be different than what you write on paid marketing, because like we say, like those people are searching you out. So you're just giving them the information on what you do. When you switch the roles, it's how we solve your problem, right? And what problem you're struggling with. And granted, Mikilah does very specific things about like, like she said, like menstrual periods. And I feel awkward even saying that on a podcast, but as a male, but like, that's probably not something, but if you can say, hey, any stage of life going through as a woman in your journey, we understand, it's a little broader, right? And so whatever they're dealing with, when they come in, she can dial in on that on that problem, and then tell them how, like, our whole goal is to say, hey, if you're dealing with umbrella of these things, then you're going to get this, right? And we're going to help you. And she's doing a great job. And as gym owners, like she has been, like Sherman said, like, hey, I'll do it. Like, I'll go all in on it. If it doesn't work, I'll come back to you guys and we'll fix it, right? We'll figure it out. But she's like, I'll give it a chance. And the hardest thing gym owners have to do, or it seems like when they come to us, like, to be honest, we don't actually work with anybody that does a free class anymore because it just doesn't work. Like, people are exhausted. They realize how bad out of shape they were. And it's really hard to like sell them. So just that process of like changing and shifting, because then it becomes not about the class, it becomes about the client. And I think you said it really well. You actually enjoy, and honestly, this is probably why you're so successful. You actually thoroughly enjoy hearing their story and then getting them because you can relate. So I think as you guys listen to this, if you can actually empathize with these people and relate to them, then you're going to sell them. So I think, can you expand on or tell us more about, like, because a lot of these gym owners just like, I just want to sell them. And they're like, they don't go into the process. And like, you're with other companies that are like, presentation. Well, here's the truth. Give a presentation doesn't work. It's about the person sitting across from you, what they're actually dealing with, and how your problem solves it, or how your gym solves their problem, right? If you're talking 75% of the time, you're not going to sell them.
Yeah.
So tell us a little more about like what you've enjoyed, what you've seen in that transition, and like advice you would give to people.
Well, first of all, PSA, can all gyms stop doing free classes? Let's just help each other out there and raise your freaking prices too, because that's what we all need to do. Yeah, I love doing free intros. I mean, the first few, oh man, I was a mess. I called you guys. I was like, this is not going to work. And then I just got more and more comfortable with it. And I love the idea. And the member, or the potential member, loves the idea that I love to sit down with you and get to know you and make sure that you're a good fit for the gym and guide you towards what I think is a good fit for you. And when we do that, we sell people at higher price points. So
Correct.
I would say at least 50% of the free intros that I do, we sell them on more than just our group class unlimited membership. We sell them on
Why do
personal
you,
training.
yeah, why do you think that is though? So difference to the free class, because I think that's a huge thing that like people need to hear is like you're actually going to sell them on what they need.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, because you're sitting down and you're learning about them and you're learning about what their struggles are and where they're going wrong, essentially. And then you're the expert, right? Like, so you're recommending, like, look, I think you can work out till you're blue in the face, but if you don't dial in your nutrition, because what I'm hearing is you're waking up and you're drinking soda and you're going to McDonald's every day. Like, if you don't do our nutrition program, you're not going to see results. And then they're like, okay, I'll do that. Like, cause that's what I want. I want results, And the other thing I was gonna say too was just that I forgot. You made some point, and then I was like, oh, I should write that. But I love free intros. I love free intros.
um,
I coach less classes now because I love to do free intros. And then when I see those members in classes, I've shifted my energies in my gym because I used to feel like I need to be there. I need to be in front of the classes so that they know like
Yeah.
that I'm present in the gym. But now when I see them in classes, they know that I know them because I sat down
Yep.
with them and I talked with them for 30 minutes and I helped them develop a quality plan. And so I don't feel like I need to be coaching all the classes because I already made that connection with them. I built that relationship with them before they stepped foot on our gym floor.
Yeah, no, I love that. No, I love that. So now let's talk about this crazy growth, right? 70 plus members in 3 months. Now, obviously, there's been some lesson learned, right? There've been some lessons
Yeah.
learned. What has been, you think, the most difficult thing just having such quick growth, right? Like again, like we didn't see it coming. We always expect the best, but you've definitely had a great takeoff, right? So like, what are some things that you had to learn and maybe change in the business? Because like, I mean, your business is a totally different business now from when you first started with us because you've gained 70 plus members in such a short amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hiring was just a huge roadblock for me
Yeah.
because when I started the gym, I was like, hey, you want to come take this risk with me? Like, you want to come coach?
Yeah.
And we had to like immediately when we started growing like rapidly, like those people that started with us were like, um, I don't want to coach classes of 15 plus people. I don't really like this whole growth thing. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, well, you need to get off this train then.
Yeah.
And so we had to shift like with coaching, with our staff, with our team. And then we hired from within. So we just hired um we've essentially hired three more coaches in the last like 6 months, another nutrition coach, because we have to support, all the growth that's happening. And that was a really, I don't like to hire people. Like I'm not good at it. And so that was a big piece of like, I need to really put this hat on and figure this out.
Yeah.
So that's been good and it's been hard and we've added more classes. But our team, I can honestly say that my team today, I am so proud of the team that we have right now. And I feel like
Yeah.
everybody is bought into what we're doing and the culture and the way that we run things. And we had to cleanse some of the people who were not on board with the growth mindset. And so it was good. It's been a great transition.
Oh, for
It
sure.
was a
Yeah, I mean,
hard
you always got.
transition. Hard.
Yes, correct, right? Like it's, yes, there have been great growth and I know PR revenue months and all of that stuff, but there's definitely lumps you take while you're growing a business, and that's just part of it. But I think you've handled them well and will continue to grow. So now where you are today, right? Like I know your goals, they get clearer and clearer and bigger when we talk to you. Um,
Hmm.
where do you want this thing to go, right? Like, where do you want FemFit to go, like, sort of long term? Like, let's tell the world so we get it out there.
Let's put it in the universe.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, I want to grow FemFit beyond the four walls. I have already said that. And what I mean by that is that I would love to have more locations of the gym. I would love to help other women, step into the role of being a business owner in this like empowered situation, whether that's a franchise model or us just owning more locations. So we're just I'm using your guys' guidance and mentorship and connections to just kind of learn and figure out what the best next step would be for us. But I feel confident that no matter where we go, I don't have to know everyone where the gym is. I don't have to be a pillar of whoever I am in the community, because we have these proven ads that are going to continue to work and they're going to bring people in the door. And now we have a system and we have a process that we know it works to grow the gym. Of course, we have a concept, and that's great. I think lots of people have concepts and cultures and things like that, but you gotta have advertising. You gotta have a sales process. You gotta have standards. And so we're working on how we make that grow.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. No, I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited for you. I'm excited. We're excited to be a part of it. We've already talked about that on the back end.
Yeah.
So last thing before we get out of here, because we're right there at the time part. What would you tell anyone that was thinking about working with Lasso, right? Like what would you tell them, good or bad, right? Like, what would you tell them?
Oh, I would tell them, don't hesitate. Like if you're comfortable with where you're at and you like, your free classes and, your gym not really growing, don't dive in, don't do it. But if you want your gym to grow and you want to reach more people and you want to make money,
Making money is good.
then you should dive in with Lasso. And if you also, want to learn more about being a great business owner, and I think that we all need to have mentors. We all need to have a circle of people who are rooting for you and supporting you. It gets lonely sometimes as a business owner. And, I lean on these guys a lot, probably annoyingly, but
No.
I just always appreciate your guys' support. And I think that if that's something that you're looking for, then you should definitely dive in.
No, good. Good. So I know some people are fired up, male and female. If someone wants to get in contact with you, how do they get in contact with you?
Yeah, so you can always visit our website, www.femfitreading.com. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, or you can always shoot us an email at info@femfitreading.com as well.
And if somebody wants to buy into the franchise of FemFit Reading, where do they need to go?
Call me.
Oh, well, good. I think that this is one of the best episodes we've done. Mikilah, thank you for your time.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was fun.
Really. Oh, this is great. So guys, as usual, tell a friend to tell a friend to tune in, and we will talk with you guys next week.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast with Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks. We hope you enjoyed. We believe marketing should increase revenue and not waste money. So book your free call today. Head on over to lassoframework.com. That's lassoframework.com and find the right words, get more customers, and increase your revenue. We'll see you here next time.